and I'm so excited to spend some of our Monday morning together. You're listening to WYXR 91.7 FM, and this is Let's Grab Coffee. Every Monday morning, I'm joined by experts from across the country who are investigating our most pressing social issues and common curiosities. Over the next hour, you'll learn about their inspirations, motivations, and of course, what they know about the world around us. So grab that cup of coffee and get ready for a fun and insightful conversation. So one thing you absolutely must know is that here on Let's Grab Coffee, of course we love coffee, but we love food. And one of my favorite topics to talk about on the show is different aspects of food. And so this morning I have a treat for you all. Today I'm joined by Cristina McCarter, a food tourism entrepreneur or a foodpreneur, and she is dominating the food scene, not just here in Memphis, but also expanding her reach across the nation, of course, focused on food. So you may know her from Memphis Dining Week, City Tasting Tours, City Tasting Box, the Craft Food and Wine Festival, or Feast and Graze. And even if you didn't know she was the woman behind some of these things, I'm betting at least one of these food businesses you have heard of and probably even enjoyed. So we are going to get into more of Cristina's many business ventures and some of the delicious foods we have here in the Mid-South. Good morning, Cristina. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am happy to be here today.
Yes, I am so excited to have you here. You know, we're just coming off the inaugural Memphis Dining Week.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to do it first, a check-in with you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so good and like so grateful. I was just so shocked to have so many people excited with me, especially considering we're in a pandemic still. So I'm just happy how it all turned out. It all turned out very well, and I'm happy about that for not just me, but the restaurants and Refuge Memphis as well.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I think people are very much still excited about food and happy
Yes.
to be able, of course, to support local. And I know that the Memphis Dining Week has ended for this year,
Yeah.
but I would love for you to tell listeners just a little bit about some of the highlights from the week for you.
Yeah.
If you heard folks kind of feedback that you got.
Oh, yes. I would say from the beginning, we had such a good, turnout. A lot of the restaurants were excited about that. A lot of the, like Seema's, the chef, he was very impressed with how it turned out. The owners at Magnolia in May, they were just like, everything was so professional. They had a really good turnout. Their staff was ready. Miles Tamboli, he sent me a message and was like, thank you for always putting on, a good event. And, I feel like anytime chefs tell you the truth, like, and they're happy and stuff, it's like, I love to be on their happy side,
Yes.
The people who went, I saw so much great feedback on social media. And the biggest of all were two things were my biggest highlights. Refuge Memphis, the executive director, she called me and said that they gained over like almost 200 new followers on their social media. So that, was great for their brand awareness. And then also, the folks at Magnolia in May, they took all of their staff to Tamboli's to eat on the last day. So that was like community support and community. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So 13 participating restaurants.
Yes, 13 restaurants. We had the $25 lunch, or some places had, I believe, a $25 dinner too, but it was a $25, $35, and $45 menu. And then $1 of every tab goes to Refuge Memphis to help them continue to provide hot meals for those in need, including people like us who were like losing our jobs instantly, and restaurant workers and everybody, moms who, all of a sudden had to do virtual learning and all of that. So yeah.
Mhm. Yes, I love this whole creation of event with multiple purposes, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
of course, giving back to Refuge Memphis, such an
Hmm.
important organization, but also making that community both with people who were dining at these restaurants, but also across these different businesses as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important. And especially because, yes, we are definitely still very much in a health crisis, but that importance of community becomes even more heightened right now,
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
feel that we have, people that we belong to, a sense of belonging, and also that
Yeah.
we're not alone, right, in this
Yes.
time. So I love that Refuge Memphis was able to get their name out there more. That's
Yeah.
exciting. And then, of course,
Yeah.
some really great restaurants that were included in this inaugural week. And so I'm assuming this will be just annual, or might it be more than once a year?
I wish we could, honestly. I wish we could do it, like a spring, summer, fall, winter, because then you can get two different types of seasons.
Mhm.
But it's gonna just be it's gonna be once a year. Because it's a lot to pull together, even with 13 restaurants, and we're thinking, we want 30 next year. That way we can keep it diverse how we had it this year. It's a very diverse group of restaurants, anything from like a arcade and genre, which, arcade has been here over 100 years. Genre just opened. Then we had like Dory, which is like super fine dining, and a few others that were, casual. So I want to keep having it diverse and just keep expanding that. But yeah, just once a year for right now. I can see it getting to like, maybe 2 weeks way down the line, but for right now, just 1 week.
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. And you're right. I love the diversity of the restaurants, in the types of restaurants, the styles, the different dining
Mm-hmm.
experiences. And I think it gives people an excuse to maybe try something new, which
Yep.
I know sometimes people can be a little bit scared to go
Yeah.
to a type of restaurant that they've
Yeah.
never been to, or a type of cuisine. But this gives people a reason to get
Mm.
out and try different places.
I agree. I agree. We definitely got a lot of people. Oh, I've been wanting to go to Timboli's, or I've been wanting to go to Grecian Gourmet. So yeah, it was a great excuse for a lot of people to go out and eat and try something new.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned something, you're like, 13 restaurants is a lot to kind of organize and coordinate, because I think people see it or hear about a dining week or a restaurant week and they think, oh, it's just go to these restaurants. But there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. So could you give us just a little sneak peek into some of the things that have to happen to make such a great week like this exist?
I mean, you have to get them to say yes. You have to get the restaurants on board, and people, I think they'll assume all the time, like, oh, you're in with everyone. Like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that right now is a good time for them, So you have to pick a good time of year. You have to try to get, some partnerships with you to sign up. Um, and then, yeah, there's a lot of printing that goes on with the menus and getting the menus curated, because you're basically working around their schedule, and you need to understand that that takes a lot of grace. It is not the easiest thing to do, to say, hey, I need you to get this menu to me by this date, and as if they don't have a million other things going on in their life, so you just have to work around that, and then get people like interested in it, and make sure you get press, because if you don't get press, then everybody's looking at you like, I thought this was about to be, something. So it's a lot of pressure in that, because everybody's done their parts, and now they're like, what is the turnout going to be like? So yeah.
Yeah. And why was it important for you to organize this event, to organize Memphis Dining Week?
So me and Lisa Brown, my partner with City Tasting Box, before City Tasting Box, we wanted to do events together, but COVID happened, so we couldn't do that. So we kind of just revisited the idea, and she was like, we should do it this year. And I was like, I don't know. I can't see, I don't know. Because I'm like so deep in the restaurant scene, and I was just looking at all the struggles everybody was going through, and I said, I don't know, but I was like, if we do it, if we get 5 to 10 restaurants, we'll be fine. And she said, yeah, we got to get it started. We got to do it, and if you can get it done during these times, next year, it'll be a breeze, right? So we went ahead and did it. I did my normal, hey, let me call a few people, see what they say a little, if I get a little twinkle at least, and I did. I got a lot of instant yeses. So I was like, okay, well, we might be good. So it was just something that we needed to do. Lisa's, she's from Memphis, but she lived in Chicago for 10 years. And, Chicago, I think they have a week or 2 weeks long dining week. And it's massive. So she was used to that. And then she came home and she was like, is there a citywide restaurant week here? And I said, no, there isn't. And she was like, well, you should do it. And I was like, girl, I have enough going on. But here we are, right? Here we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was, it's just one of those things. It doesn't exist. And we have 2 different, both of us have 2 different experiences with it, and we can make it something great. So we have a ton more ideas, y'all, that we want to do with this week. But for right now, that's what we did. And yeah, we're already excited about next year.
Yes, definitely looking forward to next year. Now, You just mentioned you have a lot on your plate, and you definitely do, but we're so happy that you do, because we definitely get to benefit from all these great ideas that you have. I want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about city tasting tours, because know that city tasting tours, you've been doing that for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's your longest running food business?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's my baby. Yeah.
Your baby. City tasting tours, which I absolutely love this idea of just, again, local restaurants, the city. Tell us more about why city tasting tours.
Yeah, so city tasting tours is what I call the ultimate foodie experience. And honestly, the ultimate Memphis experience, because you get so much culture all in 2.5 hours. I think I've been doing a tour before when you were just out eating, and you kind of saw oh, this is okay, I get it. And a lot of people have done that. They're like, okay, this isn't just about going to eat at the different restaurants. I'm sharing history about the city. I'm sharing exciting future endeavors that we have in the city. We're walking down the street and just seeing locals and saying hey to people. I mean, it's a true, if you want to experience Memphis as a local, that experience is by far the most fun. Plus you get to eat and meet all these different chefs, and they come out and talk to you and tell you about what you're eating. They might even share the recipe with you. It's truly a lot of fun. You go on tours with people who you don't know. They could be from Australia or North Memphis. I mean, the range is there, and it's so much fun, and it's so much good food.
Yes. Some really good food. What are some of the restaurants right now that are on the city tasting tour?
Right now, because it's only downtown, so right now we're doing Rizzo's, Grecian Gourmet, Cupcake Cutie. We'll start back with Butterific Bakery soon, Prima's Bakery, sometimes south of Beale. Who else? Sometimes Slider Inn. So yeah.
Yeah.
Rizzo's, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
A lot of really great places. Now, I know part of the tour it's not just the food part, but as you mentioned, it is also the history and the culture of I think is just so important. So if you could maybe share with us a favorite piece of Memphis history you might share on the tour.
Yeah, it's a few, but I would always say the National Civil Rights Museum, because that one I can kind of adjust. None of my tours are the same. It's never going to be the same script. It kind of depends on who's on the tour, right? So if it's the people who live in Memphis, we kind of know the Civil Rights Museum, right? But then I kind of go more in depth with what it used to be before what we all know it as this, you know, place of the assassination. It was so much more before that. It was a hangout spot for us, and, you know, celebrities and everything used to go there. Sometimes I'll mention the history of just South Main Arts District as a whole and how that got started, and like trolley night and all that. Or even the murals. I really like showing people the murals and then actually telling them the story behind the mural. It's not just this pretty colorful piece of art. It's way more than that. It's a story behind just about every mural up and down Main Street.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think so much of history of any city is tied up into places and spaces.
Yeah.
And of course, the food, you know,
Yes.
food that we have, what types of food, and the foods that we don't have, right? All of that is telling us something about the city, about the people, about opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely love that. So for city tasting tours, I know you mentioned that it's predominantly downtown, and they're all walking tours.
Right.
And so how much walking might someone do on a tour for folks who are listening and are like, I got to do that?
Yeah, so there's actually not that much walking. If you talk to somebody who took my tour back in 2016, they would say different because I didn't have a lot of restaurants. So we were walking over a mile on the tours, and we were eating way too much food. But, you know, it's the Southern in us, right? We want to feed everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's definitely under a mile. Because it's more just straight South Main Arts District, so it's maybe half a mile. But you would be fine if you did need to walk a mile on that tour because it's stop, you know, go, stop, go. It's not a straight up constant walk. Like my family and everybody has taken the tours. Kids have taken the tours. It's pretty friendly to everybody.
And right now, tours, are they public or private?
No, so they're private right now. I think that's the easiest way for me to be able to control it a little better with scheduling, with all the things, right? So until I get someone trained again to run the tours, it'll be private tours for now.
Yeah, but still a great way to get together with friends or
get with your friends, your coworkers, people you feel comfortable with, you know, being around. And let's have a good time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for you, could you tell us what is maybe some of your favorite food items that you on the tour?
Yeah. So I really like the brisket and macaroni and cheese at Rizzo's. I absolutely love those pita chip nachos at Grecian Gourmet. And the sangria, we do get that sometimes. The Jameson slushies at Slider Inn. And almost just about anything at Punta Talk right now. Like, they have been killing it with the food lately. Yeah, anything from them with that pork is just good. And then, of course, building your own cupcake at Cupcake Cutie. You have to get the glitter at the end. It's necessary. It's almost mandatory. So.
Yes, love the experience of making your own cupcake.
Yes. Oh man. I'm thinking about like what I would make right now.
Well, it's a perfect time for us to be talking about food, because I know as folks are listening to this, we're approaching the lunch hour. So I know Cristina gave you a lot of great ideas of where you might head for lunch this afternoon. But I'm gonna let everyone think on that a little bit more. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Let's Grab Coffee on WYXR 91.7 FM. We're here with Cristina McCarter of City Tasting Tours and so many more food, tourism businesses. And of course, we're talking all about Memphis, all about deliciousness here in our city and also beyond. So before the break, we were talking about City Tasting Tours, but you also have City Tasting Box that I know you
Yeah.
co-created with Lisa Brown, and just another way to get a little bit of taste of Memphis and maybe some other cities as well. So, could you tell us more about the City Tasting Box, how you came up with this idea?
Oh my goodness. The city tasting box definitely came out of like survival, right? It was, what are we going to do? So, city tasting box was literally just in the back of my head. I didn't know if that would ever come forward. I had a call from Memphis Tourism, and I get these calls all the time, right? I would always get these calls. Hey, I'm trying to put something together. I'm trying to put a gift basket together. I'm trying to put a gift bag together. What can we put in this bag? And I would let them know. And I got that last call during the pandemic, and I said, you know what? Give me a few months, and I'm going to have something for you that you can just always get. And Lisa called. I can't even remember which one came first, that call or Lisa. But Lisa called literally just to check on me one day. And I said, I'm okay. I'm a little stressed. And I was just glad that I even told her the truth, because that call led to us talking about solutions. Because the reason that I'm stressed is because I don't know what I'm about to do next. And I've never really had a brain fart, so that was very stressful to me. I couldn't even think straight. And, I just talked to her. She's a really good listener. She's a really good person to talk to, and just get these ideas out. So I'm just talking, and I'm like, yes, I got this idea. I think we could put some stuff in a basket or gift bag or something. And people would buy these Memphis food bags. And she loved the idea, but she was like, I think that if we put the certain things in there, we can ship them. And we were like, ooh, then we could be nationwide, and I don't have to worry about just the locale audience, because that was the problem with my previous, when I did the virtual food tours, is that it was only for people who were here. I couldn't ship the food to them, right? So we were like, we got to find something that's actually COVID proof. So that was the answer, City Tasting Box. We can do this around, we can ship these boxes nationwide. And that has been great. So it's like an e-commerce boutique with all these different really good Memphis local goods. And, it's great for anybody who is like missing home, or didn't get to visit Memphis this year. We would get those calls all the time. Hey, I really do like Memphis. I'm so messed up. I can't get there this year. So I'm getting this box because I just need a taste of Memphis. So yeah, we came up with that Memphis travel box first. And we were, because we were thinking food tourism. That's my world, is food tourism. So we started with that box, and then, and I don't know if you remember, but like all of a sudden this whole like everybody needs to eat local, like nationwide campaign came about. So as we're trying to work on the Memphis travel box, I was thinking, hey, the way I do my tours, we go to real local places, not touristy spots. So I was like, oh, we could do a support local box and just call it literally support local box, and put the more, farmers market and the real niche, like food artisans and the handcrafted people in that box, and of course I was also thinking like with craft food and wine, which I know we'll get to, but a lot of the people from that festival are some of the people that are in these boxes. So it all, like, it's funny how everything is all kind of the same, but all different in its own way. So yeah, we came up with those two, and those have been our two boxes, and it's been a whole roller coaster of, emotions and marketing campaigns and but it's been great though. It really has. I was just that one phone call that took 7 hours turned us into a whole business. And I know I overwhelmed Lisa. She won't say it, but I know that I did because this is her first like serious entrepreneurial venture I think that I know of. But she was like, okay, I get it now why people are like, yeah, you crazy and you grind. Because I was like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this and this. And I'm going to call this person and see if we can put the cookies in the box. So, yeah.
So many things stick out to me from you just sharing with us how the City Tasting Box came about. But I think one of the most important things is how you said you felt comfortable enough to tell Lisa how you were really feeling.
Yeah, because most of the time somebody calls and you could be literally just wiping your eyes. You'll be like, I'm fine, because you don't really want to talk about it. But it was like, I lose nothing telling her how I feel because she knows she's calling me because she knows that I'm messed up. So I can't even lie. There's no way she probably would have even let me say I'm fine and actually believe me, So, yeah, I'm not.
I think there's so much power in being able to say, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And this is why, and especially as you mentioned, for you, this phone call was happening, when COVID was kind of first happening. So definitely that level of stress as someone with a business that was very much dependent on being able to move around and be around.
Yeah.
So that stress, very, very high, but having someone who called, who asked, and for you feeling comfortable to say like, you know what? No, I'm not okay. And like you said, by you saying that, she was able to help you brainstorm with some solutions.
Right. Yeah, because her thing was me saying I'm not okay, and then I'm also like, the restaurants, they're all like stressed and everything, and she's like, girl, I'm asking about you, I'm like, yeah, but there really is, I feel like everything I do is very codependent on my community. So if there is no community, if there is no restaurant industry, there's no tours. Like I can't do the tours without the restaurant. So I'm always calling on them. And, even that got a little stressful, like taking in everybody else's stress and hearing what they're going through, because it was a lot. And a lot of people might not realize how hard those first few months were for everybody to just like, we're literally just pulling each other up like by the collar, like we gotta do this, y'all. We gotta get up. I have to get up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I love what you said about the City Tasting Box, how it appeals to people, both folks who might be from Memphis and wanting that taste of home. Again, food is so central to our experience of home.
Yes, it's nostalgic. We were talking about that the other day. One of our boxes, we're about to redo the Memphis travel box. We'll change all the boxes every year, right? So we're adding a different barbecue sauce in there. It'll be Corky's this time. Their barbecue sauce. And we were just like, everybody has a Corky's moment. Like everybody has a nostalgic moment with some barbecue in Memphis.
Oh yeah.
There's no way unless your family was like vegan, I guess. But like everybody in Memphis has one barbecue story at least. So putting that barbecue in there is like always going to have that nostalgic feel to it because that's just so Memphis. And then adding other things like, cookies or caramels or what's the other thing? The hot wing sauce. I mean, yeah, it's so Memphis. Like it's so Memphis.
Yes, and it's funny you mentioned Corky's because for Christmas I actually sent my dad Corky's, like the whole meal. So
the whole set, yeah.
And like ribs and the baked beans, like the whole meal, because he doesn't.
They sell like 1 million or something. Like, yeah.
Exactly. And I
That's
just knew for my
amazing.
dad, like you said, that nostalgia part, he doesn't live here in Memphis anymore, but obviously this
Mhm,
is also a home for him. And so
mhm.
just having that, literally that taste of home and kind of bringing back those Memphis memories.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. Now, City Tasting Box, I know you're also expanding or
Ooh,
hoping to
yeah.
to multiple cities. All right, so
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Okay, so that is very exciting. It's something we knew, in that 7 hour conversation that we knew we wanted to do. We just knew we couldn't do it in 2020. I mean, that would have been crazy. Um, so we definitely, City Tasting Box is definitely a brand that will expand to other cities. We want to have that same thing that we do for the Memphis Travel Box and kind of take that and do it in other cities that are known for their food as well. So there's parts of New York, of course, that are known for things, Chicago, parts of Texas, St. Louis, Georgia, you know, all around California. So we haven't, I'm naming more than what we are actually considering, so it stays a surprise. But like, there's a lot of other places that have really good food, and we just want to make sure that we can do that for, more artisans than what we have here. We started with about 8, and now we have 30 here. We want to do the same for artisans everywhere else, because what we noticed is that it's truly inspiring a lot of artisans here, or food makers, if that might be a more common word, to want more, and they can dream big too. So it's like they're dreaming big right along with us, because if we sell 1,000 boxes, that's 1,000 of your granola and your popcorn and your cookies and your tea that's going out all over the country. So we want to do that and keep doing that. And then we're also going to do the subscription model, mostly because y'all keep asking us for it. It's like in the beginning, especially, people automatically thought that it was a subscription model, and we were like, well, maybe it should be. We didn't consider it, but maybe it should be. We listen to the audience a lot. We think that's very important, to listen and see what the people really do want. And a quarterly subscription box, we can make that happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be doing that in 2022. And of course, I love themes, so they'll all have a theme, and they'll all be super cute and fun, and they'll make great gifts for yourself and anybody else.
Absolutely.
But it's
Now,
gonna take a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, what does it take to expand City Tasting Box to other cities?
$725,000 is what that takes. It's a lot. I mean, what we're trying to do is really get up there with the big dogs and play in that field. And the only way to do it is to have the dollars to do it. And we've gotten a lot of support. We have a lot of, corporations already wanting to back us up and get behind it. They see it as just such a great, genius idea, as we do, and we appreciate the support wholeheartedly. But it's going to take us to, be able to have enough space for hundreds and thousands of inventory, staff, space, storage, fulfillment, shipping. We'll be having, we'll have things in 2 different locations. It won't all just be in Memphis anymore. We're going to have to get some sent to maybe Dallas or Chattanooga. So it'll take a lot more. I'm not sure if everybody's heard of Amazon, but I'm not that crazy. But think a very niche market of local foods, and that's what we're trying to do, is put all of these things, or I don't know, like a Gold Belly or a Hello Fresh, something like that. And those are huge companies. And the reason they were able to get there is because they were able to raise a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to do now. Two Black women from Memphis, Tennessee. We're trying to get our names out there, in this real food market, because e-commerce, food e-commerce especially, it's taken off. And while there were a lot of terrible moments with COVID, e-commerce was and still is, very great to us. And we just want to make sure, whichever way the trend goes, that we're ready for it.
Absolutely. Now, when I asked you, what does it take to expand, you very quickly threw out a very precise number.
Yes. Yes.
Now, how can folks support this expansion?
Yeah. Well, you can all go to citytastingbox.com, but you can also visit us on I Fund Women. We have our crowdfunding campaign there. And this isn't really your typical crowdfund where we're just asking for money. We're actually giving out rewards for every single, donation that you give. So, if you donated $100, you'll get a box at the end of around the holidays. Basically, we'll send you a box. And then we have, bigger packages. We have group packages if y'all want to get together on that, or if you want to send that to your boss and say, hey, or if you're the boss and you want to give your awesome coworkers a gift for, surviving this insane year, I think it's really we could shift it like so many different ways, but it's really a great gift, and they'll be going out during the holidays too. So it kind of can work out as a holiday gift. It's the boxes that we're doing is called the mission box, because we are on a mission. Okay. Yes. As you see, I come up with all the names. I'm just so straightforward. I'm like, that's what it is.
Yes, I love that. I love the idea of the mission box, because you all are definitely two women on a mission. And
yes,
what a great way to support both the expansion of City Tasting Box, some local foodpreneurs, but also that holiday tie-in. You can go ahead and get some of that holiday shopping out of the way right now.
Yes, ma'am. And we are really encouraging everybody to get their holiday shopping in early, because we all know what happened last year, and that was pretty devastating to a lot of businesses and just people who didn't get their packages in on time. So, we kind of handle all of that for you with these packages that we have. And the great thing about the boxes is everything in there has great shelf life. So even if you got it a month ahead, it would still be fresh and it would still be just fine. And every single box, we love to say this, every box is literally supporting 10 small businesses in one box, because everything from the filler paper, the box itself, and everything inside that box is all made right here in Memphis. Every single part of it. So, it's hardly even about us. It's about the fact that if 1,000 people order these boxes, 2,000 people order these boxes, again, that's 2,000 jams that Shailene has to make and 2,000 granolas, and we pay them. It's not like they're giving us this stuff for free, of course. We're trying to really support the local economy here. So that's, money to help them. Almost, we've had people say that they've been able to hire 2 more people, because of what we're doing. So we're trying to get that going. We really do want this to be the circle for the local food economy.
I love that. That's so important. We can't understate how important that is with everything. Again, everything is tied together, but especially the way that y'all approach the City Tasting Box, where every single element is here local and support the local food economy. And that's just so awesome. And then I just want to say too about the City Tasting Box, not only are the items inside the box, so tasty and also just look so good, but the boxes themselves are a piece of
right. So this is how me and Lisa knew that we were going to be great together. The first thing that we had to agree on was the box. Okay, so we said, okay, we know we left the bag alone within like a day. We were like, okay, it's not going to be a bag. So then when we went to the box, we were like, oh, okay, let's look at some boxes, Fab Fit Fun or something like that, I was like, oh, boxes have to look awesome. And then I think I texted her or something. I said, I know exactly who I want to do this box. And she said, me too. And then I said, Maya Sane. And she said, oh my God, that's who I was going to say too. I love her work. So I think we just called Maya, you know, as if she isn't an artist. I think I just called her and was like, hey, so we got this thing we're trying to do. And, you know, and she's just like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. She's basically figuring it out as we're figuring it out. Now, I don't suggest that for anybody going into work with artists. I didn't know, but she is easily one of the most busy, talented, like artists in Memphis. And digital illustration is totally different from, you know, paint. I learned so much from working with Maya, and I loved it. She was so on it. You know, I think we had a lot, like we had one big revision because we weren't telling her the right, you know, direction to go in because like we didn't really know. So then when she came back, what y'all see now, it was a little bit different, but she went from one end to the whole other end, and we were like, that's it. Like, and then it was like, you know, little bitty, you know, tweaks here and there, but she killed it. And I don't know if we'll ever change the box, to be honest with you. I mean, we wanted her to do, you know, all the boxes after that, but she got some really big deals, and you know, she getting it. That's all I can say is Maya is out here getting it. I'm just glad that we got in, you know, before it was like she was booked and busy. So we were probably we squeezed in there. But yeah, no, I would recommend her to anybody that is looking for digital illustration. And even if she can't do it, she has so many other friends, you know, who are creatives too that she could recommend. And then our majority box, that one was done by Jennifer Elaine. So she hand painted, which I again, here we go stressing out artists. She had to hand paint this and then do a digital over it. So if she didn't get it right in the first go, I mean, she would have basically hit, you know, so she did it, and then we were like, okay, we like it, but can we get this one thing changed? And so she changed it, and luckily, it didn't mess up anything. But again, second go around, killed it. And then put it on the box, and everybody loves it. It's literally artwork on your box. I've told people to cut it out if you wanted to and frame it because, it's amazing what they can do. I'm not that kind of a creative, so it's like I don't know, but it's amazing. I love it. I really do.
I love it too. And now just one more time, where can folks learn more about the City Tasting Box, order their tasting box?
So, citytastingbox.com. And if you're looking for our crowdfunding campaign and that whole sale, go to I Fund Women, but you can also find it on our website, citytastingbox.com. It's called The Mission Box.
Yes, love it. Women on a Mission. You're listening to Let's Grab Coffee on WYXR 91.7 FM, and we'll be right back. This is Let's Grab Coffee on WYXR 91.7 FM. I'm SunAh, and I'm here with Cristina McCarter, and we're talking about all the delicious things here in Memphis that Cristina is creating and supporting through her many different foodpreneur businesses. And before the break, we were talking about the City Tasting Box and how it supports so many food artisans here in Memphis. But I know something else that you do that supports a lot of the food creators here is the Craft Food and Wine Festival. You know, we love a festival here in Memphis, and I think who doesn't love food and wine, and of course, all locally owned, local creators. So tell us more about the Craft Food and Wine Festival.
Yes, so it's the second annual Craft Food and Wine Festival benefiting church health. This will be held Sunday, November 21st. It is a multiple tasting session type of festival. So you can buy your different tasting sessions to enjoy. You will get to taste anything, from cheeses, breads, meats, jams, jellies, pickles, mustards, pastas, any and everything that people can make with their hands is what you will be able to enjoy at this festival. So it won't be it won't be a very restaurant centric, I'd say, festival. It's definitely more of a food maker centric festival. But it's so much fun. And then on top of that, you get to try over a dozen, I would say, different types of wines, and that will be exciting too. And we'll have spirits there as well. Yeah, live music, DJs, photo booths, all of that. Beer, we'll have beer there as well. I mean, yeah.
I love it. It definitely will be an event. And obviously COVID threw some wrench in having a festival last year. We're back this year.
Yes. And, I really hate it because church health was a big part in the beginning stages of COVID and trying to help everyone, get their testing and all of that done. Church health is also a big provider for a lot of people with their Memphis plan, their clinical services for people like me who, for years as an entrepreneur, I did not have regular health insurance. So they've been there for me and other restaurant people and servers and, just people who can't get regular health insurance. So again, it's a great cause and it's a lot of fun. And this year, you'll be able to shop as well. So you'll be able to, whatever you tasted and you loved, you can buy it right there directly from them, So if you love that popcorn, you can buy it. If you love that granola, you can buy it, Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of sampling and eating, but also a lot of shopping. And it's around Christmas time. So, you'll be able to go ahead and get you a few things and, enjoy.
I love it. Look, and enjoy it, and then immediately you can go ahead and those items, which is so perfect because how many times have you been to some sort of kind of like tasting festival and you're like, oh, I really love that mustard or that jam, and you're like, I'm gonna get that, but then the opportunity, right? It's not an easy way to do it, but here everything is there.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Now, why this food and wine festival? How did you come up with this idea?
This one was simple. I really just like cheese boards. I love cheese boards. So I was like, there should be a cheese board festival. So we started with one, it was like Butcher Board Festival. That one got 300 people there. And then the next year I changed it to Craft Food and Wine Festival. And that really opened up a lot more doors. I realized again, there's only one type of food and wine festival here, the Memphis Food and Wine Festival. So I was like, oh, let's go on the other end of that and kind of do something more on the artisan end. And it's been great. It's been it's affordable. I'll say affordable. Affordable for people is different, but an all you can taste festival at $75 is affordable. So I wanted to make it something that, a lot more people could experience and kind of get those like food and wine, like have your little classy bougie moments and still get to try all these different wines, and have a good time and get dressed up and be cute. We have it at the Columns, which is a very big and beautiful location. People have asked me would I move it outdoors, and it's simply I can't because of the type of food that we have. So you can't just have, cheese sitting outside. You can't really just have charcuterie like sitting outside. Yeah. So for health purposes alone, is staying inside for the food. As far as COVID is related, it's a huge location, and we split the sessions in half. So it's not a bunch of people in the building all day. We've always only done 2-hour sessions. So that's the max, that you can really even hang out and enjoy yourself. And so I guess we were already COVID friendly, but, feel free to wear your mask. It's probably still going to be mandated by then anyway. So, with it kind of being the restaurant feel, I just say wear your mask, and as you're eating, just, pull it down and enjoy yourself. So.
Now, I know you mentioned one of the motivations behind creating the Craft Food and Wine Festival was also just this love of charcuterie.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think, charcuterie has kind of taken over our lives right now, where it's extremely trendy too. And people are talking about it in ways that maybe hasn't been that mainstream in previous
years. Yeah. We haven't slowed down. If that, we've been doing it for 2 years now, and we have not slowed down. I don't think we knew that when we first started, but it was quickly received because we were the only ones doing it at the time. We were the only cheese board delivery service in Memphis, and I believe there's a few more now, and then there's like the new cheese shop too. But it was definitely received. And then once Instagram realized, like, oh, this is a colorful thing, and you don't have to know how to cook, to make a cheese board. So, all of those kind of things go in with it, and it's beautiful and it's tasty as long as you kind of know what to pair. So, yeah, people absolutely love this. This has definitely turned into the best appetizer. I feel like in Memphis, though, we've been eating cheese and charcuterie because we eat sausage and cheese plates all the time. So that's almost how I had to warm people up to it that weren't familiar. They were like, "What's a charcuterie board?" Or however they might say it, I'd be like, think like a sausage and cheese plate, but fancier. Like that's how I would help people understand it. And people have been loving them. I got to go drop one off to Rico's after the call.
Yes. I love, but I love how you say, like, Memphis has been doing charcuterie. It just wasn't called that. It was called a sausage and cheese.
It was just a sausage and
barbecue place.
Yeah. We had the pickles because we had pepperoncinis. We always had the crackers. It was just saltines. We always had mustard. So we've been doing this for a while, you guys.
Yes, but now you can get a little bougie with it.
Yes. Take it to a picnic, your girls' night in, tailgates. We've had people do. And people think this is just for women, but I have guys call us a lot. And they'll just basically, how they always say, like, the wife eats off of the husband's plate. The husband's eating off of the wife's plate and, like, calls, "Hey, y'all got some more of that brie dip with the jam on it?" I'm like, "Yeah, we ran out, but call us next week."
Yes, I love that. That's so true, because I was just thinking my boyfriend loves charcuterie, but it's not something that he would have necessarily said or done previously, right? It's like, I really love it. And so now he gets to enjoy it too. And I'll be honest, that is sometimes a deciding factor in restaurants that we go to, because we're like, for appetizers, like, who has a really nice charcuterie appetizer? And we will decisions based on that.
Yeah. So are you more of a cheese or the charcuterie?
I'm more of a cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
More of the cheese and like the mustards, especially like the really good mustards.
Yes. I'm a savory person, so I'm definitely more of a charcuterie with a mustard. Or I've been to places where they'll have like a sausage flight or something with different mustards. Count me in if you have that at your restaurant. I want to try it all. But I also loved like a flight of cheeses. And then it gives me a good idea of, just different things I can try, or things that we could possibly put on the board. Our boards are definitely more on the general style because, unless someone asks for some customization. But overall, they're, just beautiful grazing boxes. And we ship them. We deliver them for free. They are free delivery in all of Shelby County. You just order it online, you pick your date, you pick your time that you want it, and we can bring it to you, or you can come pick it up.
Awesome. And so if folks wanted to order, where would they go to order?
feastandgraze.com. Yep.
Love it. And I think the other great thing about charcuterie is you really get an opportunity to try different things, whether it's different meats or cheeses or even just different condiments that maybe you wouldn't normally encounter.
Right, right. I always tell people fig jam.
Yes.
You know, I think growing up, that was not an option, you know, or apricot jam. So we've kind of been getting more into making sure that everything is paired that's on your board. So sometimes people will say like, oh, I don't like blue cheese. You think that you don't like blue cheese because you haven't eaten it with the right thing. You put that with some honey or a tomato and boom. It's one of the best things that you've probably ever had, or you might just be getting a super funky blue cheese, and there are some that are a lot more mild. So yeah, I'll have Lisa here sometimes, and I just like literally just throw things in her mouth, like try this, you know. So like if she likes it, or if my mom likes it, people who aren't very familiar with the cheeses, then I'm like, okay, if she likes it, then we can give that one a go. So yeah. And now her family asks for them like every Sunday. They're like, hey, Cristina coming over here with the board.
I love it. I love it. Now, I know we're coming towards the end of our time together this morning, but there's just one thing that I wanted, I guess one more question or comment really. You know, I love that through all of your businesses, it is very much about supporting local and really creating that, again, like you mentioned, that local food economy, creating it going, but keeping it going, but also connecting to other community partners. I mean, like the tie-in with Refuge Memphis and Health. And I just think that's so important through your business, supporting a variety of different local businesses. And I'm wondering, was that your intention from the beginning?
Yes, ma'am. You know, I've always wanted to, I don't know if you ever heard, but like a B corporation, where it's like you can be philanthropic, but also make money. It's like both, you know, my left and right side, like you better make that money, but it's like, you know, how can you make the world a better place, Cristina? So, you know, I just have always wanted to put those two together however I can. And I think that it's way more possible than meets the eye. And I think the more people that do that and show, look at what I did and I made that super easy, then the more that it'll inspire other people to do the same. Like even with Feast and Graze, every single aspect of that business is 100% compostable. And people would think, oh, that's crazy and that's expensive. It's actually not, because I care about it and it's not expensive to me. So, and it's actually just not expensive anymore. Like a lot of the stuff is actually costing the same as plastic now. So, because there's more people doing it. And I'll give everybody a quick tip. If you can't find your products right now because the supply chain is horrible, go friendly, because that stuff is wide open. They haven't ran out of anything. So, you know, yeah, just switch on over. You won't have those problems anymore.
Yes, I love that. You know, I just love this idea of showing a model for exactly what you said, how you can be philanthropic, but also profitable. And a lot of us, sometimes we, you know, grow up learning that you have to pick one or the other, or different aspects of society will tell you, oh, you have to pick one or the other. And that's simply not true. And we see that in everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, Cristina. It's been a pleasure to learn more about all of your many delicious businesses. So thank you.
Yes, I'm going to have to bring you a cheese board.
Yes, look, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again to Cristina McCarter for joining us this morning. Now, I don't know about you, but after learning about the many different food-based businesses that Cristina is a part of, from Memphis Dining Week to city tasting tours, the city tasting box, Craft Food and Wine Festival and Feast and Graze. You know, I'm definitely getting a little hungry, but guess what? Thank you so much to Cristina for sharing all about her businesses, but also reminding us to eat local. And definitely in the first segment of this morning's show, she shared a lot of great local businesses. So I just want to encourage you to go out and eat local. Now, for today's positive note, I'm sure you've probably heard the quote, if it is important to you, you will find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. And so I just want to tie this back into something that Cristina said as we started to wind down this morning's conversation. And that was around being able to have a business that's both profitable, but also philanthropic, and how she explained that, you know, that was important to her to have philanthropy as a part of her business, right? And really a value that she shares in giving back to the community. And so I think what an excellent model for us in all the different businesses that Cristina is a part of that give back to the local food economy, but also give back to a variety of other organizations here in our city of Memphis. Y'all, this has been Let's Grab Coffee on WYXR 91.7 FM. I'm so happy that you spent some of this beautiful Monday morning with me, and I can't wait to join you back here next Monday.